customer service. But is it really customer service? Are you just doing your job? That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do.
Just go get it. Literally, we do nothing. Hello, everyone, loyal listeners, fans, followers. Maybe we have even non-insurance agents that listen to this thing. Who knows? Well, we are joined here today for our podcast / video with the mayor, Heath Sharon, reporting from where in Ohio today?
Youngstown, baby. Youngstown,
Ohio. We have the diva, Stephen Harrington, reporting from his plant lair in Tacoma. Can't see him. He's got his plant game is high, which is great because I'm glad someone in the world is saving plants because I can't keep them alive. So this is phenomenal.
This is phenomenal.
The fresh air helps me think.
There you go.
There you
All
go.
the oxygen.
Maybe I should get into that a little bit. Maybe I need some botany in my life.
I don't even do well with dusting the fake plants I have. So there's that. And then I'm reporting from right outside of the Minneapolis airport. Heath and I have switched time zones today, but we're gathered here today. We're changing gears, month of October. We're talking about how to give wow customer service because our new course on customer service launches in October. You can actually pre-buy it right now. We're doing pre-buy right now, and you actually get some of our bonus add-ons immediately. You'll get the course on October 15th. So if you're loving what we're putting down, don't wait, just go get it. And then on the 15th, you all can be bedazzled by our customer service amazingness that we're going to deliver.
Wow, that was a lot of things.
I think it's a lot of things based on the condition you're in right now.
That was a lot of great things.
Well, Heath and I were just discussing about how on my clients, like I turn into a pumpkin, like around 9 a.m. In fairness, I wake up at 4:15 every morning. So my 9 a.m. is your version of 2 a.m.
Right.
Heath, on the other hand, Heath can throw down. And so if you want the 2 a.m. experience, Heath is your person. If you want a nice martini and a steak and be home in bed, cozied up at 9, I'm your person. Stephen, where do you follow them?
I'd much rather have bar food. I'm totally down with bar food. I don't need a steak.
I'm somewhere right in the middle. I think that next week I have 2 clients I'm meeting with. One is at a bar, like a dive bar for lunch. And the other one is at a fairly decent restaurant on the water. So I can go either way, but I'm about at 9 p.m., 10 o'clock at the latest, depending on the time zone. So I'm in between the two. So if you're looking for a well-balanced person, I'm there for you.
If you're looking for grandma, I'm your person.
And if you're looking for teenage Tim, there's Heath over there.
Listen, I'm as bougie as I can be, but I'm also from Walmart country. So I've got a little bit of redneck mixed in with the bougie.
I don't know. I'm going to debate this right now. The designer collection on this call goes to Stephen. Stephen.
Yes.
Stephen is in the world of bouginess.
I don't think so. I only have like 47 pairs of sunglasses and 8 pairs of Gucci shoes at this point.
And Stephen now has got me into my favorite airport activity, which is scrolling on the Real. I have a Chanel necklace that's coming my way potentially.
But when your why is, I would like to have a private jet, that's kind of bougie.
Also practical in my lifestyle. Also somewhat practical. So, hey, it is what it is. We all have our different versions, but the only way we're all going to get more Gucci, more bouginess from Heath's Walmart 2 a.m. bar food bougie. I'll get a plane. Is we tell people about our customer service course and how to give wow customer service. So today we're going to talk about examples we've seen in agencies on wow customer service, right? Like things that have kind of blown you away. And I also kind of want to dive into like the other side, things that maybe are not blowing us away. My husband has a Mustang blue race car convertible, or not, it's not a convertible, it's just a race car. It's really horrible and I hate it, as I'm very vocal about. The car got dropped from insurance because I kept being honest and telling the carrier about the parts that were going into it, and that renewal, they're like, yeah, peace out. This is too race car-y for us anymore. Fair enough. The customer service rep just emailed me and says the carrier's dropping you and we have no other options.
No.
The entire email. So I called up and I was like, call the owner, which again, it's me. Like I would brush that up a little bit. And I have to say this.
tip one, know your customer.
It is a joke because in the agency that I use, which is, very well known, Paradiso Insurance, it's like whoever gets my renewal review, I think pukes first. Like I'm gonna have to do
Yes.
Kelly's renewal review.
A little dry heaving before you make that call.
I've got my checklist, my contact information. They're like, we would like to go through every upgrade you could have to your policy. But then on the flip side, I say yes to everything because I train people on it. So you're going to get your increases in cross sells pretty much flat out. Like you get my renewal review, you're almost guaranteed to hit your goal for the month. So anyway, I called the agency owner. It was not Paradiso Insurance, just for the record, on the Mustang at the time. And she escalated all the way up to the top underwriter. I go, this is the email I got. There was no communication of what she was doing on my behalf. There's probably 10 emails going back and forth. She advocated hard, but her communication to me had none of that involving it. And so that was a moment where I was like, that could have been great customer service, telling me, hey, this is what I'm doing, escalating it. We're fighting for you. We're working hard on your behalf to figure this out. But instead, I just got the output, which was she was frustrated and just wanted it off her desk. So that is one of my it could have been a great opportunity to really just say, I would have been like, hey, thank you so much for advocating for me. Any advice what carriers we should check out? I could have still been very happy with the experience, not the outcome, but the experience.
I think you bring up a good point. You can say no to people and still provide a wow customer experience.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still, people think that, I just don't want to tell them no. So they try to skirt it as much as they can. But there is ways to do that and provide a wow customer service experience, or be able to sell them something else or keep their account in other ways. And people think they have to get off the entire account or they're going to lose somebody just for telling them no, and they don't have to do that.
Also, I'll say this, that's not an email.
No,
right?
I'm with you. Yeah.
Maybe pick up
That
the
needed
phone.
to be a call, that needed to be a communication, that needed your tone of voice. Everyone out there listening, there are times where email is great. And then there's times where we have in our systems, they prefer email. Great, email me that we need to have a call. Not everything comes off the best via email.
No, it's very hard to read tone in an email or any kind of text format.
Or bad news. I would like to be called and told something bad, not I'm in the middle of a meeting and I'm like, our race car doesn't have coverage effective next week. I got things to do now, right? Sometimes you just need to talk to somebody. So does anybody else have any good examples of agencies you work with or personal insurance?
I think when we really started listening to the phone calls is when we realized what was happening. On the agency
Is it a 2-drink
side,
minimum as you were listening?
yeah, 2-drink minimum before you listen to the recorded calls. We had quote sheets, which I think are important to a point, get the information, make sure it's in the same format so other people can find it, blah, blah, blah. But then you start sounding like the robot. You're like, okay, what's your name? What's your husband's name? What's your occupation? What's your birthday? What's your driver's license number? What's the year built? What's the VIN? What's the
interrogation.
Right. And you feel like I could have just gone online and filled out a form and had more personality than by calling in and dealing with somebody and giving them all the information and have them ask it 3 times. But listening to the phone calls, we had an agent that had the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. She was having a full-on conversation with the customers while gathering all the information that was needed to quote. And she'd be like, oh, but that's fine. And what do you do for work? Oh, okay. And my grandma does that. And okay. And what's your date of birth? Okay, got that here. Oh, you're a Scorpio. That's fun. And what about your husband? What's his name? And what does he do? Oh, he does concrete. That's fun. My husband does concrete too. Maybe they know each other. Hee. Okay. What kind of cars you got? What color are they? Oh, I really like the F-350s. That's what we tow our trailer with. You got a trailer too? No? Oh, you should really think about that. I could tell you where to go camping. And it was literally she was talking to her best friend, but it was a perfect stranger. And she got every single piece of information she needed while she's quoting over the phone. And then she's like, okay, cool. So I think we can roll this out and it's going to be, $114 a month. Did you want to give me your credit card number or how you want that set up? And Lee's like, absolutely.
That is a beautiful, perfect scenario. What I tell people in training is at the end of those type of situations, you said it's the best when they're like, you didn't ask me any questions, or they feel like they didn't even go through a sales process. They were like, wait, you already have it? So that was like a beautiful and perfect scenario. Now I love how you memorized that, or that was actually you and you were framing that.
No, it wasn't. No, I literally listened to that call like 50 times. Like, this is the most beautiful thing I've heard in a very long time. I thought I was good at collecting information, staying friendly on the phone. She brought this to a level 100.
100, yes, and that is fantastic.
He was amazing.
I do love those, and that's like a beautiful, perfect scenario of like, wait a minute, you didn't ask me any questions. Actually, I did.
Actually, I did. I just got your credit card number. Now you're my customer. Thank you.
Right.
But I think that that's a really good point. So on recorded phone calls, I'll never forget, we had an agency start listening to the recorded phone calls, and I got a text message. It was like 9 o'clock at night, which is like my pumpkin time when I am ready to fall apart. And
I'm just ramping up.
Can I talk to you? And I was like, he's like, it's really important. I was like, okay. So I stepped out of my bedroom and I called the guy and I was like, what's up? He's like, first of all, I just want you know, I've been drinking. I was like, okay. And he's like, second of all, I'm glad I was drinking because I started listening to recorded phone calls. Okay. He's like, third of all, I punched a hole in my wall. And I was like, okay. And he's like, so I'm just letting you know, tomorrow morning, I'm going to send you these phone calls. I'm going to ask you to not repeat my pattern of punching a wall when you hear my staff. And I was like, okay, I think I can handle it. He's like, I'm going to let you go now. I was like, all right. It was like the weirdest phone call ever. Okay. All right. Well, and I listened to him, and because he listened, that was the first time I listened to hundreds. I'm like, they're about average, kiddo. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah, there are worse.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You
The
could
worst
hear other
one I
ones, you
ever,
might take a sledgehammer through the wall.
the worst recorded phone call I've ever heard was there was two, it's like Jennifer, it was Jennifer or Jessica, something like that, at the agency. So the receptionist calls in, takes the phone call and says, I need to talk to Jennifer. Doesn't ask which Jennifer, puts her to Jennifer A. Jennifer A is like, oh, you're in a different part of the alphabet. I'm going to get you Jennifer B. Transfer from Jennifer B. Jennifer B goes, oh, that's not my client. Transfers him back to Jennifer A. The person got transferred 5 times. And the last time the other Jennifer goes, I'm going to figure out who you need to deal with and I'll call you back.
Wow.
No
I
one
can't be
figured out what the
bothered
guy
with
even
this
wanted.
now because it's not my responsibility.
The best part was no one even figured out what he needed. No one knew. It wasn't even just like, let me just help you with it. It was so bad. It was just like.
And I would say one of the other things is, it's a simple thing, but I hear it a lot, is when someone calls in, let's say they just purchased a brand new home and they're calling to get insurance. So like, hey, I just got a brand new home, I need to get insurance on it. And then the person on the other end's like, okay, great. It's like, really? This is like one of the happiest days of their life, whatever. Or on the flip side of that, someone calls in, it's like, I need to file a claim. Okay, great. How can I help you? It's like, wait, let's match the tone. Let's try to figure out what's going on and really listen to the person on the other end of the call and try to have some sort of either empathy, sympathy, excitement, something. But I had someone that I worked with for a couple of weeks and it was just like very, like the best day of their life. They just got a new car, a new house. It was like, okay, cool. What year, make, and model? What's the age of the roof? What's the square? I was like, hold on a minute. This is a great day for them. And like you said,
Also,
Steve, an opportunity for you to be like best friends, so to speak. And
legit,
really celebrate.
everybody else has kissed their butt.
Right.
Like that's the
Through the
best
whole
part. Like
process.
everybody else has kissed their butt, and now
And
we
you're
don't.
just like, oh, great, good for you. It's crazy. But anyhow,
Keith, how about you? Good, bad customer service stories?
at this very moment, that was the best I could come up with right now. I'm still in awe of Steven's and of your race car story, which I think is funny that in all my years of asking that question, do you drive a race car? I've never heard a yes. And so Kelly Donahue Piro of all people
No,
said
I
yes.
don't.
I know you don't,
I don't.
but your husband does. So I've never been able to hear yes on the other end of that.
I'll leave the keys in it and tell you exactly where it is.
We do more like ATVs in the South. We don't do race cars as often.
When I was doing sales more, we had pre-underwrite for an umbrella during the home and or auto process. So we had the most random questions, but we had to make them fun. Like, hey, do you have a nanny or anybody helping take care of your house? Do you have a butler or anything fancy like that? And people would be like, no. How about a housekeeper or live-in, blah, blah. They're like, no. I'm like, all right, cool. I can mark that box off. How about any airplanes? Do you own any aircraft? And they'd be like, no. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to mark that box off. Then we don't got to worry about airplane insurance. What about when they'd be like, okay, that was totally random, but it was fun. It made me think maybe I do want a housekeeper and I do need a plane.
Domestic staff.
Yes, domestic staff. But it's all in how do you make it a game and make it fun? Or are you just like, do you have any aircraft, ATVs, boats, motorcycles? Or is it, hey, do you have a plane? How about a
Well,
boat? Come on.
someday somebody's gonna get mine and it's gonna be like, I do.
I do.
I do.
Underwrite it.
That's
I can't
awesome.
wait.
Transfer me to the right department. Boom.
The person can be like, oh.
After
I don't
11
know,
years
right.
of no's, you got your first yes.
The bottom line that we want all the agents out there listening to is thinking like, and this is something that I say a lot in the course, is the reality is the bulk of the staff in independent agencies are related to service. The other fact is that there is training for under the sun for producers a million times. Agency owners have groups that they can belong to and masterminds. And literally, we do nothing for the majority of the employees on our team. We assume that they all can make decisions like we do. We assume that they understand. We assume, and that's the problem, is that the agency needs to organize their service and explain very clearly what needs to happen and train their team on it, because we all come with different backgrounds. And then we assume everybody knows what to do. We bought a new truck this weekend and the car guy was actually really good. Like, I usually destroy those people, but the guy was really good. He came out across the table, shook my hand. He used my name the whole time. I had to come back and forth as the transaction was happening because I had some other stuff to do. He met me outside. Like, it was just very gracious. I said, where'd you come from? He's like, fine dining, like one of the nicest restaurants in downtown Providence. And the finance manager was like, we had to tone him down because we're selling Fords. I was like, well, not for nothing. The brand new Ford we just got was not an insignificant investment here.
Did
So
you want the Ford or the brand new Corvette? Let's
right.
put it that way.
I was like, we ordered this car in January and it came in now. Like, that was good what he was doing. He's like, well, most people here. I'm like, well, most people here, that's great, but everybody deserves that kind of treatment. Like, him waiting in the parking lot when he knew I was on my way was like huge. Just like, I just want to greet you and show you where your husband is. And I was like, this is very nice.
Where's my champagne?
Yeah. Well, I also want to say to everybody, I think it's also very critical that we think about the fact that insurance is complicated. Most people do need a tour guide to it. And that when you feel comfortable and you don't feel forgotten about and you feel heard and you feel recognized, that's what's going to keep loyalty going and referrals. And it's called, we say in the course, it's like there's a piggy bank. And all day long, your team needs to be putting deposits into the piggy bank with those little things so that the day the rate comes up, there's enough to make a withdrawal and they stay with you. When that balance is negative and they're indifferent to you, they have no feeling or emotional attachment to you because we've given meh service, the day that happens, that's when they shop. So all day long, we need to train our team how to make people feel special. And I think one of the tips I love in the course is, and I want every agency to do this so badly, in almost every management system, there's a spot where you could put just like personal details, right? Kelly's dog's name is America. She flies every week. Husband has a race car she hates. And then when I call in to say, hey, we bought a new truck, you can say, oh, that's so awesome. What do you think America's going to think of it?
Right.
I didn't think what America's going to think about our new truck. And I was like, honey, do you think she'll be able to get in the truck? It's very high for her. Are we going to have to figure that out? So when they deliver your new payment on your brand new truck is $50 more a month, I'm like, we have to figure out America. But you need to be thinking about how to make those interactions warm so that every time someone calls in, it feels very personal.
Yeah. Okay. In every agency we talk about what separates you or why should I buy from your agency over the next one. Every single one of them for eons have always said customer service. But is it really customer service? Are you just doing your job? Oh, we do lots of good customer service. We change out vehicles. We do this. That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. Customer service is taking it to another level. The wow customer service you're talking about is going even that other mile of, what's America going to think about it? Or did you slash those tires of that race car yet? Or whatever it might be. But yeah, customer service is not doing vehicle changes. That's just doing your job. Customer service is not just smiling on the phone. It goes a little further than that. I just think it cracks me up when people say that because like everyone says we're good at customer service. Well, customer service is different now than it was in 1987. There's a lot more that goes on than just answering the phone and doing what you're asked.
I mean, there's days I miss my carbon paper and typewriter, but...
Right?
I remember carbon paper.
I don't, but that's okay.
It's a matter of customer experience or a transaction. We talk a little bit about some of the top companies in the world that do good customer service. Like at Chick-fil-A, they teach 17-year-olds how to give great customer service, right? It's my pleasure. Of course, the dipping sauces. Like people wait in line for that and pay more for a chicken sandwich than they do at McDonald's because we know we're going to get treated like garbage.
That's God's chicken.
It is God's chicken. Although Popeyes is pretty good too. Just throwing out there.
No, I'll give that to you.
They have blackened chicken tenders. So I'll dissuade that. But imagine
Right.
taking 17-year-olds had to say my pleasure and like knowing that accountability level is there, like they're always going to say it. So it's possible to train your team. I just think agencies need tools. Agencies are not equipped to put together a 300 slide PowerPoint on how to give wow customer service. And honestly, a lot of times your team will drown you out a little bit. Engage with us on this. Like this to me is a huge mission. Everyone wants to invest in sales training because it's like, well, I can make more money on that. You are going to make more money by keeping your clients happy. You're going to get more referrals. It's not a direct one-on-one. But here's the great news. That team needs guidance and leadership more than ever with the rates changing in this economy. And that team wants to hear how to do things right. For an investment of buying the course outright, getting into our online school, or we're doing a special where, guys, for the first 5 clients that sign up with one of us, any one of us, either virtually or live, there's a huge discount for you guys to have us work directly with you. So virtual, Heath won't go out to you till 2 a.m. because that's a long Zoom meeting.
Watch it now.
It's a long Zoom meeting. It's a long cocktail party, but we're doing 5 clients virtual, 5 clients live. First 5 that sign up get a great deal on us working with your team. So make sure to reach out. So on that note, I have to depart and get to my next meeting. Everybody travel safe today. Water your plants, Stephen, Heath, don't die. And we're all going to make it home to our families tonight.
What?
Hallelujah.
Bye, guys.